sky, and kings shall deceive. We have come into the night, thunder raising war a night. We have come into the night, thunder raising war a night. We'll fight for kings, for Ragnarok. Drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. The sounds of arms, fierce morality, nightfall the rain, and the silence leads. We have come into the night, thunder raising war a night. We have come into the night, thunder raising war a night. We'll fight for kings, for Ragnarok, sail war. Drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla.
Hello and welcome to the Seer podcast from Valhalla Esports episode 3. We're going to be talking about our games that happened during week 2 and looking at the games ahead coming up to us week 3. Tonight I am joined by Modlock and Keanu Reeves, and we may also be joined by Bulgaria later. He's indisposed currently. How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Hella good. And that's the real Keanu Reeves, by the way.
The real Keanu Reeves. He's going to talk to us about was it John Wick 4 coming up?
John Wick 4 in a month or so.
It's time on Cyberpunk. Yeah.
And another Bill and Ted.
Another Bill and Ted. All the movies. But the first game we will look at was from week 2. It'll be the matchup between Air 404 and the Bear Squad. This one ended up being a little bit of a sub matchup. For Air 404, they have their full current lineup. They had swapped out the 80s Harry into King Beeson and have Puam Satan as their support. For the side of the Bear Squad, insert name here, subbed in for Fame into that top lane. You Wrong Me Right was in the jungle for Cookie Meth. Brewbender was there for mid. Then Boosted was also there for ADC, but Jerbear was subbed out by Sona Banana. So we're going to get into that first game
Yep.
draft.
Almost like the Replacements movie.
Benton said we're a little too quiet. If there's any way you can turn up our voices, Beard.
Yeah, Beard. Get on it, Mixer Man.
For the first game, we see Air 404 were able to pick up that Soraka, which Boo, I'm saying, is one of her mains. It's between the Soraka and the Yumi, who this patch we saw got nerfed a little bit into Oblivion, which I will say I'm happy about.
Yeah, I'm so Half the league community literally rejoiced from that one change alone.
Right.
Makes up for months worth of mistakes and bouncing via Riot.
I just want to
Everybody
ride in
here
the
agree.
champion and not do anything.
I believe our mixer Beard also wanted that nerf too, so that's good.
That's right. Beard used to be a Yuumi main, but he's come out of the dark side.
Yeah. Now he just plays Seraphine, which is so much
Um,
better.
Watch it.
We got an appearance. There we go.
But
Uh,
you can see Air 404 showed up a little bit late. We have that rule where if your team isn't locked in for the match 5 minutes before game time, you lose your first round of bans. So you see they had no bans for the first three. On the side of Bear Squad, they took out that Yumi Rengar and Skarner. And then round two, Air 404 were allowed to ban. They took out the Ezreal Victor, and Bear Squad took out the Victor Ezreal. Air 404 took out the Sona Yorick. So it was Bear Squad who were late.
yeah, just the flip flop. But
Flip flop.
yeah, it looks like just a simple tank matchup top lane. I mean, you have Nasus into Ornn, so the Nasus looking to scale off stacks, and the Ornn looking to scale to those items for his team. But it looks like they took the Aurelia. Although Faye wasn't in this week, was she, for Bear Squad?
No, they had insert in the top lane, so
Oh,
wasn't
on
as
Aurelia.
much of a takeaway, but Fluffy very much is an Aurelia player, so still a good pickup for him there.
Yeah. They would have stolen that from Faye had she been here.
Exactly. It was probably in their game plan, and Fluffy said, "I still want to play it."
A lot of front line and just healing to get through for Era 4 to 4. Just looking at this, I mean, you have the double healing of Senna Seraphine, and then the front line of Nunu and Nasus.
Uh, we
So
also we also get to see that Casual Plebs got to play his Shaco
yeah,
since there was no ban from the side of Bear Squad, so I'm sure he got to enjoy that game as well.
you want
Yeah,
to
the
look at
amount
the
of sustain on Bear Squad is nuts.
Yeah, they've got what Senna plus Seraphine. They've got all kinds of healing going on their side.
Nasus has his own built-in. Nunu does.
yeah. I mean, just that
Basically,
Shaco.
just Caitlyn saying, "Somebody heal me. I don't have my built-in healing."
Yeah, literally double heal or double front line. I mean, yeah, it really is all about that Caitlyn in this team comp.
That's right. But we can move to the score screen from this game one and see how they went. And we see this game was a victory for Team Air 404. Definitely getting a lot of comfort picks on their side, and that Shaco Aurelia Soraka. So definitely that lack of bans from Bear Squad helping them out game one.
Yeah,
Zeri popping off with the Shaco too.
Zeri
yeah,
was popping off. Another Zeri pop off we saw in week one. A Zeri pop off from his name's escaping me, but on Big
Uh-oh.
Wheel.
Yeah,
Rise
Rise
of
of
Dusk.
Dusk. He
Yep.
had the first pentakill in the league against definitely not my team, but
Exactly. Although Zeri is pretty good into this team, they have the shield from the Senna, the Seraphine shields, and the Nunu shields you can steal with her ultimate. So a lot of good uses there on that shield stealing.
yeah, I'm really impressed that Shaco was able to do as well as he was able to, just because with all the healing and tank on their team, other than the Caitlyn, it'd be kind of hard to find a way in a lot of times, which I guess is why he went AP
Right.
as opposed to AD. But
It also helped balance out their team since they already had the AD mid.
yeah, true. I mean, yeah, you have the engage of the Ornn Aurelia, so Shaco's kind of there for like the CC and general annoyance,
Right.
just to help this area along. And
Yeah,
obviously, they played it flawlessly, 12-2 on Zeri. I mean, you can't ask for almost a better score than that.
been seeing a lot more Zeri played in the bot lane recently.
Yeah, she works really well with the scaling comps that everybody kind of likes to go for now, because it's really hard to push a lead early with objective bounties and everything coming. It's very hard to play early game stuff. You have to basically play flawlessly. So that Zeri fits in perfectly into this meta, in my opinion.
I guess is she moving up because after the hits to Lucian and Nami?
Yeah, that probably helps as well. Plus, Boo on that patented Soraka that you play so much of.
Just having an infinite health battery as your support.
Yeah.
But we see
Uh,
Casual definitely popping off this game on that Shaco, along with King Bison, 11 kills and 12 kills respectively, and then plenty of assists on that Aurelia and Soraka. On the side of the Bear squad, Insert had a pretty even scoreline, but still had a ton of farm. Got up to that almost 240, so was probably stacking away on that Nasus, but couldn't quite become a monster. So definitely looks like it was still a close game overall.
yeah, it's 17-37, but like it's still like you said, it still looks like it was a close game because they really had to
Yeah.
play around their scaling.
Even at the end, they were only sitting on a 10k gold difference, so
Yeah,
probably was fairly close until it got broken open
It
at the end.
20 kills ahead, and it still took them almost 40 minutes. So they must have probably a couple of issues trying to close the game out.
and you could look at the objectives and see an inhibitor for both teams, 8 to 10 turrets, and 3 dragons apiece. So yeah, they definitely were. It was a battle, but Zeri is just such a ridiculous champion to deal with when she gets to scale into the late game.
For sure. But with that, we're all into the draft from game two. See how the Bear squad changed it up. Now they have their full bands, and you can see they immediately took away those three comfort pick champions in the Soraka, the Aurelia, and the Shaco. um, Air 44 kept the Yumi ban, the Rengar ban. It looks like they added in the Skarner ban.
I'm surprised Cassidy made it through as good as he is with the Seraph changes.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
looking for
yeah.
that late game scaling, but it looks like they went for the counter pick and grabbing that Zed, so they're hoping to punish that Xerath or Kassadin early.
Yeah, anything AD into Casson is just it makes it so hard just to farm. And then of course Zed can clear waves really quick and roam early too, so it kind of opens up the world for him for the first 20 minutes of a game.
Yeah, very
Um,
true. And then it looks like they, in the first round, kind of drafted a poke bot lane and the Caitlyn Lux against more of an all-in kind of bot lane with the Tristana Seraphine. I think Seraphine would be bot here. So Trist wants all in, but Seraphine's still just kind of there to enable. So I, I like the perfect duo if it was the Seraphine bot. If it was Karma bot, it's a little more aggressive. So it could be either.
yeah, I don't love Bear Squad's draft here just because it seems really hard to execute because you don't have any deliberate front line. Jax is not going to do too well in the front line for much more than a couple seconds. Uh,
It seems
and
like
just
a squad we very much want to get ahead, other than the Jacks who can scale.
yeah, you want to get
Yeah,
ahead and just snowball that
but
Tristana
is
Jax.
Jackson the jungle on this team?
Um,
Like he's not going to have as much resources as a normal lane Jack. So like
Actually,
trying to get him to scale,
it might have been the Jungle Zed. It could have been Jack's top, Jungle
Karma mid.
Zed, Karma mid, Trist Seraphine bottom.
If you want to kick us over to the next screen, we can find out.
Yeah, we can kick on over that. And nope, you're right.
It
It
was a
was
Zed, yeah,
the
jungle,
Jack's Jungle,
Zed jungle.
Zed
and they
jungle.
had. Oh no, it's that Jungle. Okay, I got thrown off because it
Yeah,
was
the
boosted.
portraits are yeah.
Boosted screenshot threw me off. I was looking at the order,
Yeah, it's
not the
been a while
summoners.
since Jack's jungle's been good. Ever since they cut the resources from jungle, like getting a carry champ, like Jax just needs so much resources to get there.
Yep.
Yeah.
We see from here, it was a win for the Bear Squad in game two. So definitely Jax had a good time in that top lane. The Camille into Jax matchup is pretty even, but if one of them get a kill early, it can very much snowball very quickly from that point. It looks like the Zed jungle did a lot of work, 12, 2, and 10 there. So definitely a huge impact from that assassin in the jungle. I was pretty bummed when the Riot decided to make Zed a jungler. I haven't been happy anytime I see him there, but definitely very well played from Yurong Me, right?
I'm not happy when Zed's a champion, but unfortunately, he's been in the meta since I can't even remember the last time Zed wasn't decently relevant.
And then it was
As long as the AD
the,
carry role exists, Zed will exist.
of course,
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Zed in the jungle, but I haven't seen Talon, and I put them on the same level. I don't want to see either of them.
that's true. It was the Karma mid. Went with that. Radiant Virtue, right? That's that item. I think it's Radiant Virtue.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
Uh,
Radiant Virtue mid
that
Karma's.
item is very strong on this patch. Makes you super tanky while enabling your team, especially if you're on a champion like Karma, whose ult is always off cooldown. The drawback with the Radiant Virtue mid is if the game goes late enough, you very much fall off as far as the mid laner goes. But in this case, being able to empower that Tristana Jax Zed combo made it work out for the Karma mid.
Yeah, I mean they proved me wrong. I said I didn't like this comp going into it, but I mean clearly they played it exactly how it was meant to be played. Got that early game going, snowballed it, just didn't let the Cassidin or really anybody get online.
Yep, you can
This
see
comp's
they.
basically, oh,
Go ahead.
I say this comp's basically impossible for Camille to play into at all because she wants to shred tanks and utilize that true damage, and I mean you just have a bunch of peel and high damage, high volatility, which is not what Camille wants to deal with.
And then 2 enchanters behind them, just
Yeah,
messing everything up.
yeah. Camille doesn't do well with that kind of stuff. She wants to be able to kind of take away your front line or be able to attack her AD carry. But when you have that much peel,
Yeah,
and the fight's all over the place, it makes it hard.
you can see it did take them 2 Barons to end up finishing out the game, but they were very on top of the objective game, only losing 1 tower and then losing 3 dragons, but never giving up that soul. So ending just past 30 minutes, definitely well done by the Bear squad in this game too. Now we'll roll into that game 3 draft.
Yeah, a little bit more controlled there. Just I almost asked if this was game 3 draft for a second because it looks so similar. Till I looked at that bottom half of Era 404. Oh my
The bands were very similar. The same, well, similar first 3 bands from Air 44. They did take out that Jax. Didn't want to see Jaximus again.
They let Yumi through this time.
They did let the Yumi, and it was picked up by the Bear squad. So definitely it was an effective ban in game 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, they
And then,
definitely knew they had a strategy going into this, for sure. They kind of stuck to it. I can't get over this comp for Arrow 404 right now. I'm just
Yeah,
locked.
Scion and
I'm,
Singed.
yeah, I'm locked into the Scion Singed
alright, they're going with the Scion Jungle, a casual classic.
special. Yeah,
Wonder if, I'm assuming he went Heartsteel. If he didn't, I'll be very surprised. And then Insert got his Wukong. Champion is very strong currently. I heard him talking, and he hasn't played it much in the top lane lately, but in the end, I mean, it's still Wukong. The champion's pretty busted, so I mean, easy clap.
He
yeah, he's
feels
really
like
good that
the
early in mid game.
Yumi nerfs. Like she has Nyla, Kane, and Wukong she can just hop on in this game.
Yeah, pre the Yumi nerfs on this last patch, a lot of scary champions for Yumi to ride on.
Yeah, this is silly. Just
Yeah,
the
what
amount of combos they can pull off.
We'll
about
check out
Super
who
Red Kane?
pulled off this game 3 going into the score screen.
Ooh, and they did.
And it was the Bear Squad pulling out the 2-1 victory in this matchup. We can see, again, Insert claiming not to know how to do Wukong top, but I mean, champion's easy, so
Yeah, 14 and
easy
3.
14-3.
Yep. Yeah, back before you had to really know how to use that armor passive that the Wukong gets and play around it to win the trades, but now it just seems like you blow people up.
For sure. You wrong me right, having a good game on that side, 7-2. And then not a ton of kills across the rest of the team, but just very
Yeah,
much enabling through the Yumi 9 assists, and then the Karma again 6 assists.
yeah, with
So
the
just
Wukong. I mean, the game. And look how quick the game ended. 23 minutes.
you got a big top and a big jungle. Let them snowball, and you just shield them up and heal them and run at the enemy team.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they didn't let King B sit on that Ezreal or just really anything come online. I mean, 23 minutes. They just took that Wukong lead and with that Kane, it clearly just sent it. That's a fast game. Only 3 dragons were taken.
It's almost
I
like a
see.
gentleman's agreement in the bot lane. Doesn't look like too much happened on either side.
Yeah, some more
Yeah,
CS. I think.
it's where the Nyla wants to be aggressive, but when we're with a Yumi, you can poke, but you can't really all in. And then Ezreal just
And
looking to farm up and
Morgana,
scale.
yeah.
Morgana can hit those bindings, but again, Ezreal's just looking to poke, so even if you hit a binding, you're just gonna get a little poke on him.
Yeah.
I see Bulgaria calling out their stealing Snurbopsy's Karma mid. Yes, very rude of you, Brewbender, to steal Snurbopsy's champion. How could you? And then
Unbelievable. That champion is it's so good. It gets banned every series we've played so far too. It's uh
I do
mid
think
or
the Sins
support.
matchup is kind of rough into the Wukong, so that definitely helped out Insert in this matchup. Casual Plebs did well, was 8-3, and did not go hard steal. My heart is broken. Was going that lethality Zion, but couldn't get enough going to help get his team back into the game. And
Yeah,
Fluffy was playing the Seraphine mid, trying to steal Beard's champion as well. My goodness.
it's just unfortunate because I actually really like Fluffy's comp here. The Scion Singe being able to go in with a Seraphine ult and then the Morgana for the Black Shield just makes those tanks just all that more hard to peel. And the
Yeah,
Ezreal getting backline for free would have been really nice.
I think they were just kind of very much lacking in damage because King Beeson would have needed to gotten like another item and a half
Yeah,
before being super relevant. So it looks like just with the big Wukong and Kane, the Bear Squad was able to run it down and end it very quickly,
yeah.
and not let Air 404 get online.
Yeah, there was just no way with a Wukong that fed.
Yeah,
I mean, you just can't fight around that. The Morgana can only Black Shield one person, so what are you gonna do?
Peru. But well played, Bear Squad, even with all the subs, picking up that win. And now we'll look at the second matchup from week 2, which was Team X versus Los Nomadas.
Hey, that's us. And
Hey,
as a special guest joining us is the jungler from that matchup.
How you guys
wow.
doing?
He did show up. He's no longer indisposed.
Oh, we're doing.
Said I'd show up eventually.
Allegedly. Alright. Did you guys have any subs in this matchup?
No, this was actually full team on team.
Yeah, full force.
We did have some breaking news earlier today, though, with Bentage now joining Team X.
We
I
did.
think, if I'm correct there.
Bench
Yeah.
is joining Team X as the support.
Yes, he is. He is replacing Remy, who is going away on almost like the pro
Military
scene
duty.
going away on military stuff. So yeah,
Basically going pro.
yeah. Bentage looking to pop off in that support role. I'm hoping to see some big things out of that bot lane.
You had a huge week 1, so we can only hope for good things week 2. But
Hey, now.
we'll get into the first draft. Here we see there was no Morgana ban. My goodness, I'm shocked.
Well, Bentage wasn't in this round of games. Remy was still playing.
Yeah, this was
Okay.
the full Bentage is now taking over for Remy, but Remy was a part of this.
Okay,
Part of this team
I
still.
tricked myself.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit ahead. Bentage doesn't get to carry yet.
Here we see Los Nomadas banning away Beard's patented Seraphine. Very rude of them. Then also taking out the Mordekaiser and Ornn in the top lane. DMX opted to take out the Gangplank, Amumu, and Maokai round 1. So a couple of jungle/support bans from DMX, and also I know that Gangplank bad was aimed at the mid lane, right?
Who had the first pick on this one?
Blue side always has first pick.
Okay.
They aimed the Gangplank at me because I played it a month ago, and they plan on picking that scaling top. So they didn't want me to be able to just free scale in that Gangplank.
They didn't ban your Akshan though.
No, they didn't ban trash can top. I don't think they're quite. I don't think they're quite scared.
Despite all your best efforts.
Yeah. Despite all my best efforts, they tried to convince Beard, but Beard didn't listen, and I did not pick it, so it did not come back to bite them. But they did get rid of those 2 annoying tank junglers and then a couple aggro tops. They were trying to make the Nasus be able to scale a little easier.
We did have a gentleman's agreement before the game that our team wouldn't ban the Mayo because I know Reaper was looking to play it, and then they ended up banning it on him anyway. So didn't quite work out for him.
What an agreement. You don't ban it. We'll ban it.
But
Yeah, we had what a Jax into a Nasus top lane. So
yep.
definitely Nasus just trying to farm up, Jax looking to punish and become very scaled. Volley into Hecarim jungle. So 2 junglers who like to gank a lot.
Yep.
Galio into Syndra. Galio having that built-in magic resist is definitely a good pickup into Syndra, who's looking to scale and try to burst people out. You guys had you had your own Yumi on your team. You had the Ezreal Yumi
Yep, we
against
had Satis Fate very sad with the Yumi nerfs. She
well,
got to play her one last time though.
it's okay. I'm happy about them, so it evens out. And then DMX had that Caitlyn Blitzcrank.
Oh, but it was a pretty slow game. If you want to go to the end game screen, it's a fairly slow game and ended 9-13. DMX was looking to scale, and we definitely just looked to force objectives, and end the game as quickly as we could.
I see
Do have
you
to give a
got
shout out for to Remy on that first dragon they got. Was a complete blind hook over the wall, last hitting it at like 30 health without hitting anyone else.
done, Remy. We'll miss your blind hooks to steal
Yep.
dragons from Bulgaria.
Yeah, that was his one dragon.
He forgets how to smite every once in a while. It's okay.
I didn't have it. We started it very poorly timed.
I
Yeah.
see Modlike, you popped off a little bit with that 8-2-4 score line and almost 300 farm.
Yeah, I was able to just kind of take advantage of the Nasus being forced to play back, and just played aggressive. We caught the Hecarim out early, so I got a 1 or 2 kill lead off the start, which kind of made Habits have a hard time.
For sure.
But yeah, it was definitely a nice, comfortable game. I didn't I didn't really receive any pressure, jungle or anything top, and they couldn't punish bot with that Blitzcrank because Ezra Yumi just played so far back, so it was really hard for them to get anything done.
Anyone who's watching, if you're looking to play some in-houses, they have one spot they need to fill an in-house. So if you're looking to play some games, check that out.
We would
But yeah,
appreciate it.
with this, we see actually a very mild game as far as people dying. Only 22 kills in a 34-minute game. Not the kind of thing we want to see in the league as far as having exciting games to cast, but definitely very measured
Yep.
gameplay. I like.
We played.
I like.
We
we're
both thought
trying-
we were LCS this week.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We're trying out for the LCS here with this game. Our coaches would be proud if we had one.
Of course, but yeah, we can go into the game 2 draft. See how DMX wanted to change up their bans to hopefully get this game 2 win. And they went with the Yumi ban. There you go. Also took out the Amumu and the Galio. So
They
didn't want to see that map wide ultimate or the cat.
they banned that Yumi so fast. It was the most low hesitation ban I've ever seen in my life.
Before this coming patch, I would have done it all the time.
Yeah. They didn't even think about it, but
Oh yeah,
the-
Vintage subbed for Mindless this week. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you, Vintage.
yeah.
As you see, we continued to ban the Seraphine. It is Beard's worst champion, but
Yeah, no one should actually ban Seraphine against Beard. He's not very good at it.
not at all. He just runs it with her.
Yeah. If you want a free win, don't ban Seraphine. His team won't even let him play it, so I mean, inside knowledge.
That is very true.
Yeah. We definitely prioritize the mid lane with his last couple bans. Other than just getting like kind of the broken stuff out of the way.
Was that just trying to keep him off his like comfort picks with the Syndra and Corki?
Yeah, we were trying to keep him off his 2. Not only are they comfort picks for him, but they scale just so well, and they have really good range or damage or crowd control, depending on which one. So, just really dangerous to allow to scale. Although Ziggs definitely a scaler as well, but you'll see in the end game screen, Ziggs actually by I think almost 10k. Dealt the most damage in this game.
Yeah,
But it just
Ziggs, even if you do have a game that like you're just farming, he has so much poke, he just builds up that damage stat so much.
yeah. Yeah, it just provides a little bit less crowd control and stuff than we wanted to deal with the poke of the Corki or the Syndra scatter the weak late game. So
I see this time they took away the Jax from you, but left up the Mordekaiser, so you were able to pick up that champion.
yeah, I wasn't expecting the Nasus again. So it was a
Yeah,
very
it's
uneventful top lane.
Nasus isn't like the champion necessarily wanted to Mord, but if you can dodge the E's and never get pulled in, you can still farm up fairly well.
Yeah, I don't think I was
Yeah.
able to really do much against him in lane.
We'll move into the score screen and see for sure.
I will
For sure,
say this is probably the most exciting series that we chose not to stream ever.
7-13.
We see 20 kills in a 35-minute game
Yeah.
this time.
Woo!
Once again,
Watch
trying out
out.
for the LCS.
It
My
was
luck
intense,
though,
very intense.
trying to keep up that KDA for the season with the 6-0-5 again, almost 300 farm. So may not have had as much eventful things going in lane, but looks like you did pick it up once the team fight started.
Yeah, it was less team fighting, and more just constantly invading Reaper on that Jax, punishing the Jax who wants to scale and kind of has a hard time farming early. We made his life hell in that jungle for this game.
Yeah,
Hence
you
the
hit him
1-7.
early. It is
We
definitely a miserable time.
He got his blue, I think, the first time around, and I don't think he got his blue again for the rest of the game. We lived in his top jungle for pretty much the whole game.
For sure.
Yeah,
Fully
it was
mode,
Definitely
split
didn't
the
get
methodical
map.
that.
and it was a pain in the ass, but not much more
Yeah, I can
action.
see taking away a lot. He ended the game level 14, whereas Wukong was at level 18. So
Oh, so
definitely a lot of good counter jungling there.
it wasn't even a split map. You just took 3 quadrants and let them let not let them farm or anything.
Correct. Yeah, it was definitely a rough time for him in the jungle.
For sure. But yeah, very exciting series. I was definitely not told it was Snooze Fest and didn't choose to not stream it based on that. But let's look at the next matchup.
Yeah, there wasn't much. It was methodical. Wasn't much to say, unfortunately.
All right. Next game we had was Night Raid Owls against Plague Gaming. Here, let's see. Night Raid Owls had all their kids. Yep. We don't have the draft screens for them, but we can see what bands they had over on the right hand side. And surprising to see in game one, Play Gaming did not ban out the Shyvana, and Kidbu definitely known for playing that Shyvana as a one trick. So popping off a little bit on that champion, 6-1-1. So very well played in the jungle there, along with Pugs Are Cute in the mid lane on the Yasuo popping off. Not doing the O10 power spike, doing the 12-1 power spike.
That is just wrong. It's not allowed.
Oh, what is wrong? One thing to note is that Silas, 6 kills. I'm pretty sure all 6 was on that Xerath.
Yeah, you and I casted this game. Silas in game one was dead set on killing Norbu at all times.
Whenever he stepped away from a tower or he was in the river, like Silas was flash jumping onto him, ulting, whatever he could to take him out. It was just I felt bad for him that game.
You see, the Owls also had a long range bot lane against the long range bot lane of the Caitlyn Lux. So we're able to avoid the issues we saw when they played Error 404 in week one, where the Caitlyn Lux got very far ahead and kind of kept fairly even in the farm and just negated a lot of the kills. So helped allow that mid jungle from Night Raid Owls become a big issue and end up winning the game off of it. And then they
Yep.
also had the Malphite just to help even more enable that Yasuo with the ultimates.
Oh yeah, the Shyvana ult, Malphite ult. The Yasuo was just one of the few
Yasuo,
times you see him not go 0-10 and actually make a 10-0 start work.
yeah, and Yasuo was also on point in this game, blocking a lot of Ornn ultimates as well as Maokai ultimates. So just Pugs Are Cute was popping off this game. And very well played. They closed it out in about 25 minutes. Now we'll
Yeah.
look into
It's
the
impressive.
second game. This time we see there was the Shyvana ban, the Lily ban, and both the Win brothers, Yon and Yasuo bans. So they didn't want to see any of that on the side of Play Gaming. For Night Raid Owls, they took out the Zek, Maokai, and Yumi. Love to see that Yumi gone.
Yeah.
And they also took out the Rise and Cassidon.
A lot of people's ban strategies are going to get just that much easier this week.
So much better.
I will
now that that's
say
gone.
this this other than Shyvana, for the most part, I've seen Kid Buu in houses and stuff play a lot of tankier CC junglers. It'll be interesting to see him on Belveth, and if he picks up a couple more assassin junglers, it looks like he carried a bunch of this game, or at least helped enable some of his other teammates to carry. It'll be interesting to see how he does on other carry junglers going forward.
Yeah, the
Definitely
most
liking
gold.
that scaling.
The most gold, 23 KP. So no complaints
Um,
here.
I do remember from the game, Play Gaming actually started out with a little bit of a lead. They had caught out Kid Buu early and gotten a kill, but they didn't allow that to snowball any, and they brought it back with a couple of good ganks, and then you can see he brought it back in a heart in a very good way. And as you said, got to almost 20k gold most in the game.
One thing I want to point out is even though it looks like Nami had a rough time, she did have a lot of ults and like bubbles on an Invisicali that just changed the game or the battle in that moment.
Yeah, Mandy Rose had a fantastic bubble as Akali ulted through her to hit the bubble on her. Unfortunately, it was when Akali had like 8 kills at that point, so the Nami still died. But yes, I agree. Very well played despite the scoreline. And they did a lot of good disengage. Play Gaming had a lot of good fight in this game despite losing it. You see, it went to 42 minutes. Even though there was such a lead on the side of Owls, it could have gone either way had there been like one more really good ultimate on the Kennen by Flimsy. So definitely a series that was very close in the game too, despite it being a 2-0. So with that, we'll go into the next matchup between League of Legends and Goats. Let's scroll back down, see if they had any subs. We can get into the first draft for them. It looks like League of Legends had their full squad, along with DMX having their full. Wait, this is week 1. I'm done. Yep. League of Legends had their full squad. There was a sub for top lane. Perfy was playing top for the side of Goats. And Kuro, I believe, also subbed, unless that was a trade.
Goats. Let's see here. I hate that the Zach is in here, just because I hate that champion.
Zach is very strong currently. Whenever he's up
Yeah.
and I see him on my team, I'm like, that's a very good champion.
I
Yeah,
second the hate for Zach as well.
it just does everything right now. That
Yes, they subbed for Challenge Cut. You're right.
I mean, Team League of Legends here is literally Team Zeri. I mean, that is just. I mean, Vlad could do some damage, of course, too, but in the extended team fights late game, I mean, that is all Zeri.
Yeah, how do you front to back that?
I just send it on everybody and hope Zeri doesn't get killed by the Wukong. I guess they
You
have
get the
so
Shin
much
with the
front line.
shields, the taunts, Soda with the healing, the speed ups. It's just, it seems so hard to get to her.
They did use the first round pick on the side of League of Legends as a counter pick. Well, not a counter pick, a takeaway pick. They didn't ban the Vladimir, just had Kazuto pick that champion up, taking it away from the Grip Lord, who is very much known for the Vladimir. So
Uh,
definitely an effective first pick on the side of League of Legends, getting a strong scaling champion while stealing away an enemy champion.
Yeah,
And
with
then
we get to the screen here, see how this game went.
check out the score screen. Oh, there we go.
Sorry, that one's all jacked up. My apologies.
You're good. Here we see a lot of effective ganks here from the Zac from Mont Blanc, 9, 3, and 14 on that champion. Zeri popped off like we thought she would with the 7, 2, and 10 scoreline. Kazuto scaled up pretty well, getting 6 kills and going 6, 5, and 10. And then Gramanet doing the Shen job of just, I assume, split pushing and ulting in the fights. We see Kuro also did pretty well on that Ezreal. Got up to 4 items actually, and had an 837 score line despite the loss. Looks like they got ahead in the mid lane and the top side, and just were able to get enough of a lead where they could finish out this game.
Yeah, Perfy putting up a big gold lead on everybody else in the game.
Perfect did have a lot of gold. He had a ton of farm and also all that passive gold you get as Gangplank when you kill enemies with your Q or with the Q barrel.
Yeah, extra from his passive, and even besides that, I think the next closest person's like what 30 CS behind.
Right.
I know from
Yeah.
playing with him a couple times in in-houses, the Gangplank's very much a comfort pick for him. So it'll be interesting to see going forward if teams are still willing to give it to it, or if they're going to start banning it to take it away. Since this was really his first week, at this point he was subbing for Goats.
Group. And also did get to his full build on that Gangplank, so definitely would have been chunking out that damage, but wasn't enough with also scaling team count from League of Legends. We can get into that game 2 draft. Let me see.
There is the GP beta.
The Goats took the blue side that time and banned away that Zac. League of Legends did ban away that Gangplank. They did not want to see it again after game 1. This time, Goats actually banned away the Ezreal. Looks like they picked up the Trist, so we're looking for a little more aggression in that bot lane early, and didn't want to give League of Legends a safer AD carry to scale on. They want their Ash Sona pickup, which they've been very effective on, just getting a farm up and having a lot of engage from the team. We see Kazuto did get his very much feared Cassiopeia, so I'm assuming that champion did a lot of damage. Definitely a champ you don't want to give to Kazuto if you play against that team. And then rounded out with 2 big tanks in the Maokai Malphite.
Yeah, I don't have too much more to say about that. I mean, it's just kind of a Kazuto on this Cassiopeia, man. God bless.
It's like Kazuto farmed out of his mind, but also Grama playing that Malphite very well. 10,
AP
4, and
Malphite
7
picking it up.
with 300 farm as well. Malphite AP into that Jax, you just toss out your Qs to get Jax low enough, and you can ult it and try to blow him up.
Yeah, they picked the 2 beefy tanks that would give them the dive, and then both beefy tanks built straight AP.
I mean, if you get far enough ahead, it can work out.
Yeah, Kazuto's team's heavy on the AP of only Ash.
Moplock did go the Righteous Virtue though, so that item does give you a lot of tank stats now that they updated it. And then looks like this game went pretty long. Yeah, almost a 50-minute game. But just the scaling was on the side of League of Legends. Looks like this game was very even. It was 8 to 8 towers, 2 inhibs to 4 inhibs, so definitely a very back and forth game. League of Legends got the Dragon Soul, but lost out on 2 Barons. So this game looks like it would have been very close. Could have gone either way, but went the way of League of Legends for the 2-0 in the series. Benton
Yeah.
says you ban out Kazuto, not his champs. Well, you,
Looks like
you gotta get him
Kazuto was
super.
just
You
another
gotta get him
tank.
super tilted first if you want to get him banned out. That takes a little bit of work.
Yeah, that's just a clean game across the board. Yeah, there's just nothing you can do. That Ashe in a bot lane is just consistent every single game. So for
What I
that
really
team,
needed for this week was to have written down all of the predictions Bentage has made last week and say which ones were right and wrong. I know some were correct and some were very wrong.
I think we need you to post those predictions in the chat for us, Bentage, so we can take a quick screenshot for you. Make sure we have those for next week.
Play 4v5. That's how you beat Kazuto. Allegedly. Yeah, well played by Team League of Legends and won out this hard fought second game to take the series. We'll get into the next series, which I think is the Ramen Renegades. Yes. So this one is where we had Bentage subbing out for Mindless. The rest of the Ramen Renegades were there. As far as Big Wheel, they had their full team. Yes. So we can get into the first round draft. Here we see banning away two of those scary jungle champs on the side of Ramen Renegades, the Silas and the Viego. Also taking out the Warwick, very much a comfort pick for attack alley in the top lane on the side of Big Wheel. Big Wheel took out the Katarina, Udyr, and Mordekaiser. Katarina and Udyr is focused on the mid lane and top lane of Ramen Renegades. The Mord could really be top or jungle. Also mid. Shumpo is known to play Mordekaiser every once in a while. But we see the Ramen Renegades, they get to pick up that Zac, Anivia, and Senna round one. Seeing Shumpo on Anivia is always very scary, so definitely a champion you want to watch out for when you're playing against them.
And is that a Senna Vigar in the bot side?
Looks like it. So it'd be
Both bot lanes in this matchup were very interesting. Malzahar Nautilus versus Vigar Seta.
it was a fasting Senna with a farming Vigar. And then yeah, the Kindred Nautilus, I think it was. Oh no,
What
you're
is
right. It was the Malzahar Nautilus. So yeah, very odd bot lanes. But here we see on the score screen, as I said, you want to watch out for Shumpo Shinigami getting Anivia, went 11-0 and 8 and 300 plus farm. Just plays that champion ridiculously well. Will control team fights, set up great walls, get stuns, and just wreak havoc whenever you're trying to do anything. Also had a very large Garen, 7-1-6. Had a good time in that top lane against the Sejuani.
oh, that's
vintage
gotta be
saying
rough.
that on that Vigar he had 300 stacks? That's crazy.
Yeah, they both were very stacked. This game had a ton of stacking champions. We were checking the Senna and the Vigar on the side of Ramen Renegades, and we're also checking the Kindred throughout the game on the side of Big Wheel. Definitely a good job here from the Ramen Renegades shutting down that Masters jungle on the side of Big Wheel. Had a lot of good plays and was able to pick up some kills as they went along, but they just had the team fight that could do better in the 5v5 and control that scary Kindred in the team fights.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of. I mean, I know it's Hardway's specialty, but it's kind of crazy. They came out with the more early game prospects and tank and stuff into the hyperscale of the other team because I feel like with their jungler they usually want to play a more controlled type of game style. So it's kind of crazy to see the early game aggression come out, but I guess it didn't work out for him because Shumpo could just play that hyperscale Anivia and just really punish him for it.
Yeah, it's a play you can go into, like the Jace into Olivia. If you can punish it early and get ahead, you can control that.
Yeah,
But
it's just
Shempo is very good at sitting back, waiting till he has his items and some farm, and just being that bird you can't get to.
and in team environment, it's just that much harder because I mean, they have a competent jungler, so you can't overextend without being punished fairly often. So it's just that much harder to really get anything done. Whereas maybe you could take advantage of some solo queue mistakes on that Jace matchup to really control that bird early.
For sure. And then shout out to Cover Panda pulling out what they call the Tenna, the tank Senna, with the Heartsteel build on the fasting Senna.
Every lane just build tank items. It's great. It's 80 carry tank items.
We see Vantage was actually going another stacking in the Masteries with that Dark Harvest. So
Is it a
even more
throwback
stacking
to
going on.
the Frostfire Senna?
Essentially. Because, yeah, you could do Senna top with Frostfire. Similar idea now, you just get tanky and you build like the Black Cleaver and then damage. And you're very hard to kill because you have all your free passive stacking, you do a lot of damage. But yeah, let's get into the game 2 draft, see how they changed it up. Here we see they did ban away the Anivia from Shunpo, but they did leave up the Udyr, which was picked up for his name is now Slug with Jeans. Slug wearing jeans. In honor of Shunpo who sleeps in jeans. This time Shunpo picked up the Rise.
Oh God. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I just wasn't ready for that. Yeah, that just again big wheel with the early game Olaf, with the Mundo, with the Lysandra. I mean, they have that late game scaling bot lane, but they definitely tested their luck with a more early game oriented team comp.
They were also able to let Tactic pick up Zac for the second game in a row. Zac again, just ridiculous
worst.
range on the ganks and just does so much damage while being very, very hard to kill.
Yeah, you can't ward him out because he could just hop from crazy angles. It's very hard to find and pin down where the Zac is, and
Yep.
just very controlled, very hyper scale with the Rise and the Lux Senna. Just can get out of control really quickly.
I've had the pleasure of playing with that Slugs Udyr before, and it is one of the most annoying champions you will play against in this game. He will sit
Yes.
there and taunt you and run circles around you as you attempt to run him down.
It's
Whenever
just too
he
good.
plays Udyr, he's just there to annoy you to death, as he's impossible to kill.
Yeah, especially now. So after the rework, they and the tank items, they really made that champion a menace.
Here we do see the Yuumi on side of Big Wheel, and they picked up the Zeri, which they had good success with on week 1. They have the Sandra in the mid lane, so a lot of lockdown on that champion, and then they had the Olaf Mundo top side. So plenty of beef and a lot of empowerment for their strong jungler, but we can get into the score screen and see how the game went.
No, we can't. Yeah, looks like a win for Team Shumpo. He really excels.
Team
From
Shunpo, Team
from
Jeans.
from 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 what I'm noticing, he really excels on these scale to late game kind of champions. He's
Yeah,
really good at controlling that early game.
Shunpo will essentially always look to scale late, unless if you give him Cat, then we'll play Cat.
You know, just
And the Yone. With Yone, he'll pop off as well. But in the majority of what he does, he's looking to scale late.
I mean, if it works, if it's broke, don't fix it. I mean, if they're not gonna,
If
if you
it's
can't
broke,
punish the
don't.
Rise and Nivea, you know,
Yep.
it's
There
not
were a lot
broke,
of times they were looking to get on Shumpo, but that phase rush and Ghost giving him a lot of escapes there as they were trying to lock him down in the game.
I'll say
This was
like, with Ghost on Shumpo and then like Udyr and Zac the mobility, it's just they can pick
But
you or just get away.
but you want to talk about mobility? He didn't even buy tier 2 boots.
He didn't even finish.
So I mean,
he didn't need
I
it. He
mean,
had all the move speed in his
yeah, yeah.
runes and
Hey,
abilities.
like he knew
Phase rush
exactly what
Ghost is enough.
he knew exactly what he needed to do uh, to be able to stay alive. But
Once
as you,
again, pulling out the Heartsteel from the Senna.
yeah, it worked the first time. 2, 6, and 20. I mean, 22 KP is nothing to be mad about for sure. Is that
Uh,
yeah, it's support Senna too. Yeah, okay. So
Yep.
Covert is the AD carry usually, correct?
Correct.
Like,
Which I
But
mean, now still
starvation.
granted,
it's the
what?
fasting Senna.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fasting center.
So
yeah. I
it's
was gonna say, yeah.
they're both
Still,
in the bot lane. They're both where they should be. So in only the case of Senna, you're allowed to have the AD carry by the support item.
she's still playing the AD carry role in terms of the ranged carry,
Right.
auto attack oriented. It's just funny that it works while your support farms because it's
Exactly.
just that good. Uh,
It's because I made her stacks just so ungodly strong. They're
yeah,
like,
she
this will work, and then they broke everything again.
and they just spawn so fast that yeah, you're still the AD carry that you've wanted to be, but you just don't need all the resources, which makes bot lane a lot easier than it can be.
Yeah, it was the worst when it first came out. It was her with like set, and you'd have essentially a top lane set in the bot lane along with the Senna who has all the stacks.
Yeah, yeah. It's gotten out of hand. The Senatom Kench, yeah, there's been a lot. There's been too many metas with this, and now I see Covert is bringing this Heartsteel Senna. Uh, please stop.
Senna.
Please stop.
We see on the side of Big Wheel, they got the Mundo going a little bit, but did try to do that Radiant Virtue build. Where
Mhm.
again, it's useful early and you're very much enabling your team, but when you're looking to be that big carry on your team, uh, might not be the ideal pick in that situation.
I'm actually shocked to see the tank come out from Lowry there. Just expect him to usually play carry champions and kind of try to kind of go nuts.
I'll be interested to
Um,
see as the season goes on. For the most part, attack alley top lane, we've seen the Olafs, Warwicks, Sejuani's. A lot of the, I know he's mostly a jungler, so a lot of the jungle champions are crossover. Be interesting to see if he starts picking up the Mundos or some of these tanky CC top lanes, to start trying to bring that to the team fights and that give Lowry the opportunity to carry a little more out of the jungle.
yeah, especially with this Radiant Virtue nonsense that you can play anywhere.
Right. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Like we saw the Kindred game one going for very much a carry jungler. They never had banned out the Graves, and I know Graves is very strong if you're a high level jungler. So I'm a little surprised I was never pulled out, but they just didn't have the team comps we wanted to play it into.
Yeah,
But yeah, any more things we want to say about this game, or I think now we'll roll into next week's games.
I think it's a perfect segue.
All right. So in the Midgard Helheim regions or brackets, whatever we want to call them, have Los Nomadas against Goats. We'll have the Ramen Renegades against Team League of Legends, and then we'll have Big Wheel against Team X, brother against brother there, and Hardway and King Beardicles.
I'll be interested
Um,
to see the Ramen Renegades League of Legends game. They're both two undefeated teams coming into this week. And you get the Kazuto Shunpo mid lane matchup, which is always fun to watch as two very much carry mid laners get to duel it out.
yes, very much agreed. Two teams that also have been somewhat relying on that mid lane to get very big in their wins as well. So definitely will be a hype matchup in that mid lane.
I'm hyped for it.
Also, Tactic and Mont Blanc have been liking that Zac, so it'll be interesting to see how prioritizing that pick will go.
What do you have on the matchup board? Do you have Ramen or League?
Well, I think first we have to go to benches. This is where you have to tell us who's going to win all the games. Come on, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, where's our vintage 2 second prediction?
Gosh, for right now,
Yeah, give us your predictions across the board.
I would predict. Yeah, that's tough. I think I could go Los Metas, Ramen, and then Big Wheel. Just top across the board from you. What about you guys?
We got to get Vintage as a bookie and have him do the over/under odds.
Ramen. All right, across the board. No, I think us and the goats is going to be close. Yeah, I go ramen and I go big wheel, but I'm kind of undecided on our game. I want to be confident and cocky and say us, But they got a lot of threats over there with Kuro coming on to Team Goats.
Kuro will be a big pickup for them. That is true.
Yeah, it's we got to see how he meshes with the team this early. If he hasn't got a lot of games in with him, I would give it to us. I think it'll be close either way.
True.
But I said that about last week, and then we won. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Go
just
in humble so that you can do
yeah,
better.
exactly. Yeah, I'm just trying
I'll
to be
be
humble.
I'll be interested to see how our teams match up with us having much more of the kind of farm it out, scale into the late game. And I know playing with Leon and some of those guys previously, they can be very aggro in our face early.
What about the other
Yeah,
two matchups?
yeah, it'll definitely be crazy. You mean Ramen and League of Legends? I think will be a battle of titans.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kazuko, Amanut, just I don't know. There's just so many threats on both teams.
Quickly, I'll cut in with the Bentage predictions. Has the 2-0 to Los Nomadas, so he believes in you guys. The 2-1 to the Ramen Renegades, and then the 2-0 for Team X with the Bentage Diff.
Vintage diff. I don't. He quickly 2-0'd Team X last week into Los Nomados, so I'm glad he's giving us a vote of confidence this week. But I feel a little bit slighted.
Hey, that was 2 weeks ago. We got our jungle back now. I'm back playing this time.
Yeah.
But it is funny. Bentage has either played for Big Wheel or played against Big Wheel. He has not yet played in a matchup that Big Wheel is not a part of.
That's funny.
Oh, good. You got any predictions, Steel? Or
I'm
Keanu
still new
Reeves?
to this league, so I'm not too keen on any of the teams so far.
That's fair.
But what I will say is the Big Wheel versus Team X, the brother game. I know Beard and Hardway, so I definitely want to see who pulls through that on the bragging rights.
Of course. And
If
then
I
for
if I have to go with that one, I think Big Wheel's just gonna barely pull it out. I think they're gonna have a hard time stopping Lowry Jungle.
Lowry, that's how you say that name.
Mike Lowry.
Lonry,
Oh.
Lowry.
I'll have to remember
I
that
will
for when
butcher
I
this.
stream it. The first time I was in it, I was like, I don't know what.
Now, how you
I'm
not
going
know
with
that?
Lowry, but I could very
Lowry.
well be wrong.
Larry, if
Well,
you ever watch the stream, you can always tell me how your name is actually said.
that's
Yeah.
like the last stream. I said that I don't know if I can believe in Team X anymore because DMX can no longer give it to you. That man is R.I.P.
Anyways, alright, we'll look at the next three matchups. In Vanaheim and Jotunheim. Got Jordan Yordles against Air 404, Play Gaming against Bear Squad, and Night Raid Owls against Team H2O.
All
For
right,
these
let's
matchups,
all right, Bentage. Before we get anywhere, I need the predictions for Bentage as we go through these.
Benjamin says a 404-2-0.
I don't. 404-2-0. Wow.
Wow, a lot of belief
404
in that.
hasn't played
that
a
404.
game this week yet that they haven't, or this season that they haven't gone to 3 matches. So that would be surprising.
I mean,
That's
it'll be
funny.
really crazy because the series technically wrapped up.
Bear Squad 2-0.
But Play Gaming into Bear Squad, I'd put my money on Play Gaming personally. That's just because I think they have a really good roster across the board. I think they're pretty scary.
And then Night
But-
Raid Owls 2-0 for the Bentage predictions.
Night Raid 2-0. Oh, that's going to be a close one. Those two teams scrimmed a lot in preparation for the season, and H2O actually usually came out on top, but with the recent
2-1.
roster move arounds
Well,
and
yeah, you're
position
right.
move arounds, it could be different.
I'll be interested to see. Yeah, H2O's kind of scrambling a little bit this week of who's going to be playing. So I'll be interested to see what their lineup looks like and how quickly they mesh into a
Yep.
matchup, and if
Yeah,
they get leave Shyvana open.
into
They
their
can
new
get
roles.
that practice in and remember to ban the Shyvana,
Nah, leave her
and
open.
they have a chance.
But you gotta leave it open and just pick it.
I want
True.
to see KB on that Shyvana. I've never seen him play it.
There you go, KB. You gotta play Shyvana this week.
Maybe top lane Shyvana.
So for my predictions,
Someone destroyed a mod with
I'll-
it earlier.
I'll also go with
Alright.
404 for no real reason.
Yeah, for no reason.
I do want to say I'd go with the Bear Squad. I do think this one's interesting, where Play Gaming has that strong mid and bot. Bear Squad has a very strong top lane. So it'll be interesting to see where things fall as far as people getting ahead, or if people can mitigate that with some jungle pressure. But I do think the mid bot has more impact in the five-man team environment. So I think I'd give them the edge, but I think it'll be close.
Yeah, I think that'll be one to watch.
I do think I'll give it very close again in the Night Raid versus H2O, but I'd give it an edge to Night Raid Owls since they have the team synergy going on. They haven't had the team change turmoil.
The explosion and the position change. You have to keep in mind too, even if they had their whole team, they basically all flopped positions since the last time they've played Kid Buu and company.
So I just think the constant flux will make it tougher for them.
Yeah, I think they gotta get a week or two at least to be a little bit more predictable to come online there. But I would agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say for no reason, I think Error 404 is gonna pull it out.
Just as a side note, if you decide to have a game that is not the set standard game time of Sunday at 9, make sure you are prepared 100% for that game to happen. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it's some scheduling, some stuff. I know it could be hard. Everybody's got things going, and life happens. So try to plan for it as best you can.
Yep. Do your best. Real life happens, but in the end, it's for fun league.
Yeah, it's the most competitive for fun league there is.
The most competitive.
Always.
The most competitive. In-houses
that,
are going
we've
on
made
right
it-
now. Speaking of competition,
Yeah, we've made it
Dang.
through all the matchups. If you're interested in playing some games, go check out more of the in-houses. Definitely be looking at more people play over there. If you missed any of the podcast episodes or any of the games we've streamed, check out the VODs on this Twitch channel or on the YouTube channel Valhalla Esports that is now pinned in the announcements on the Discord. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate you. Toss us your Prime subs if you have them and you don't use them, and we'll catch you next time.
hey, we also have the TFT tournament.
We also
Yes,
have the
tomorrow.
we
TFT
do have the
tournament
TFT
tomorrow.
tournament tomorrow. Do we know if we're going to be streaming that tomorrow or?
We would like to.
It sounds like it might be tough because you're not allowed to spectate TFT, but if we can figure out a good way to do it, we will stream it. So keep an eye out. I don't know if it'll happen, but if it does, it'll be in the announcements.
Yeah, might be able to sneak somebody in a spectator slot in the TFT custom and then have them stream it that way.
Does the TFT custom have a spectator slot?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Production
Yeah.
is on the case, though, folks.
We're gonna do what we can. We'll see what we can do.
But get in on that tournament because there is a little bit of a prize. There's going to be a prize next month. Get in some in-houses. Get involved.
Yeah, we do still have the 1v1 tournament that is announced and is pinned to, I want to say, the announcements page. For anyone who hasn't signed up yet that's interested, it should be the weekend of February 17th.
If it's not pinned in the announcements page, I'll go pin it right now. So it'll be on the announcements page. The sign up for the TFT tournament is closed, but definitely sign up for that 1v1 tournament if you're interested in getting some 1v1 action in there.
Hell yeah.
And everybody have a good night. Goodbye.
Have a good weekend.
Later.
Bye.
Let's go.